Yes.
and assume that they decide public policy. Now, you know, there's something wrong with that type of thinking. The people who determine public policy is the Supreme Court.
That's right.
The Ford Motor, Ford Foundation,
Yes.
Walmart, they determine public policy.
That's right.
So consequently, you saw that, and maybe you didn't see it
Yes.
the other day. Okay?
That's right.
And when you stop and think about how can serious people around the world respect us,
Right.
that would let our children, our daughters, our friends, our loved ones go to war to fight for a country
Right.
that is so evil. And then we'll be out this coming week celebrating the 4th of July. Now,
Yes.
let me tell you, forget about what they took from us
Right.
the other day. Think about it. This is very important. You got black folks, husbands and wives and children over in Afghanistan fighting with their life,
That's right.
killing people, being killed, coming back with one leg and got to be cared for. And yet, while I'm over there, a white racist police force killed my son, and I come back for the funeral
Right.
and then go back. Here's what we look for. How can we be so, I can't say it's beyond stupid.
Yes, sir.
How can we be so ungodly and unspiritual that we willing to send our loved ones, and I say sin, they make up their own mind, some of them, and wave at them and send them packages for Christmas,
That's right.
while they guarantee somebody a right to vote. And
Right.
while they over there, they take your right
That's right.
to vote.
Yes, sir.
That bill that went up, legislation before the Supreme Court, that just took care of a handful of states.
Right. That's right. About 11
But
states. Right.
What they doing now, California,
Right. Yes, sir.
Maryland,
Right.
New York. New York was listed on that. Some of them rules there. They can do it all over the country now, and
That's
there's nothing you can say about it.
That's right.
And if you came out mad, they got the right to send the soldiers out and shoot you down because what? That's the law of the land. Now remember, segregation, segregated schools, segregated restaurants
Right.
was the law of the land.
That's right. Codified.
How did we defeat? If we'd have came out with guns, they had a right to bring the militia out
Yes.
because that was the law. And so we went out and violated the law, willing to go to jail, willing to go through all the changes, and with the world watching now, we can do it better now because we didn't have the social internet.
Right. That's right.
We didn't have a group of white folks whose minds have changed.
Yes.
The rhythm have changed because they watched us.
Right.
They looked at us. They said, well, how can you have the president in your world? That's right.
Right.
But you don't understand white supremacy.
That's right.
The one that's asking, white folks is baffled.
Yes, sir. That's right.
I mean, can you think if a gay was president of the United States, openly gay, we had gay presidents,
That's right. Yes, sir.
openly gay, and you think if one of theirs got shot down, like you look at black folks in America and it's not being investigated, do you think everything wouldn't stop?
Right.
And so somewhere, what we and all that bad mouth. Let me tell you what the Supreme Court is.
Yes, sir.
Supreme Court don't make law;
That's right.
they interpret law.
Yes.
How dangerous that is!
Yes.
The Supreme Court can't make a human being,
Right.
but they have the power to determine if I'm a woman or a man. And I know I'm a man. They can say I'm a woman,
Right.
and that's the law. That's how dangerous that is.
That's right. Yes, sir.
A bunch of thugs, a bunch of hoodlums, a bunch of pimp punks.
Yes, that's right.
But they sit there with that power. Let me tell you something else. if when Obama ran the first time,
Right.
had he lost,
Yes.
the electoral colleges don't have to pick the winner. They pick any. They don't even have to pick nobody that was in the race.
That's right.
They have that power.
That's right.
But they got you thinking you live in a democracy, a democratic society, the right to vote.
Right. That's right.
And for years I've been saying, give me the right to elect,
Yes.
but not give me the right to select.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And anytime you reduce down, I'm not talking to black folks,
Yes.
America, anytime you reduce down to vote for the lesser of the evils,
Yes, sir.
they tell me I got to pick one or the other.
Right.
Only way I got to get a babysitter. I have to have a babysitter to go to work.
Mm.
So the only way I can get a babysitter, they determine you can take this one or this one. And I do the background check, and I say, well, this one here, old Milton, he's raped 12 women and got a good lawyer and beat it.
Right.
This one over here have violated 75 women
Yes.
and beat it.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to take the lesser of the evil. I'm going to take old Milton because he just left 12. Anytime you reduce the voting for the lesser of the two evils, you end up
With evil.
with the evil of the evil.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So and so white folks are scared. Look, since in the last 30 years, white folks' suicide
Right.
have increased like 60%. So
right.
the bad money times didn't just start happening now.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And so the only reason they don't come off as the number one suicide because they mix the Indians
Right.
and the Eskimo suicide rate together.
That's right.
So if you looked it up, they'd be number one. But wait a minute.
Yes,
When
sir.
you take two groups,
Right. Put them together.
so America is number one. They scared.
That's right.
They frightened.
Yes,
They
sir.
don't know what to do.
That's right.
So they got to pick up on black folks.
That's right. Talk about, Baba, in terms of, again, I think as we've talked about, that this is a time not where we turn on one another and this group perhaps blame that group of black folk that, you know,
Always,
but talk about, yes, sir.
That's always been. See, we keep looking at the sun, but we forget,
Right.
like, in a few minutes, darkness will come.
That's right.
Let's go back to the bubonic plague for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
When that hit, they couldn't find out what it was. They knew it was that little rat, that little bitty rat, not a tank,
Right.
not a nuclear bomb,
Mm-hmm.
a little bitty rat. Huh?
Yes.
So and so the King of England's beloved daughter, he had a lot of children, the one he loved, she died from the bubonic plague. See, there's certain things that your money, your education, and that church you go to can protect you from.
That's right.
And so what happened is, first they didn't know. So when the Mongoloids came in, and their whole army almost got wiped out from the bubonic plague, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
what they did was took the bodies, and them little things they would shoot big boulders on,
Yes. Right.
like things out, but it's huge, and put them dead bodies and start shooting them over the wall into that country they was fighting. So that's where German warfare first came from.
Right.
Now, all at once, they couldn't find a reason. They went to the God, they went to prayers. So then what happened is they started flogging themselves, man.
Yes.
They thought it was a punishment from God. So they started beating themselves to death, man, walking from town to town. That didn't work. You know what happened after that?
No.
They turned on the Jews.
Yes, sir.
They said the Jews is doing it.
Right.
And they caught some Jews and beat them so bad they confessed that, yeah, I was with the group that brought the germs in and spread it in the river.
Right.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
So this is always,
Right.
you take the least. Now, President Obama has proved one thing.
Right.
You cannot be more polite,
That's right.
no more educated,
That's right.
no more of everything white folks want black folks to be. That's
Yes.
what we thought.
Right.
And then we found out it ain't got nothing to do with that. It got something to do with your color and your race.
That's right. Yes, sir.
So what we're looking at now is a plan that probably went in a year after the Civil Rights
Movement of 1965. Yes, sir.
The Cold War.
Right.
They were looking, before they did things to us, the New York Times never reported a lynching in the old days.
That's right.
So nobody knew what was going, and then all at once, when the world looked at children being beat and gassed and cops' horses' backs rolled into them,
that's right.
Then we had to do something.
Right.
So it was say, look, let's give them this for a few minutes.
Right. That's right.
You know, they are.
Yes, sir.
They're not going to go out and register. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do this. And they're not going to demand their organizations. All they're going to do is sell wolf tickets.
Yes, sir. Talk about that from the context of Jimmy Lee Jackson, because many said that was probably, I think, one of the most important events that helped to push the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
It was the most important event. Before I get into that, let me tell you why I am so devastated.
Yes.
I saw people die.
Yes, sir.
I went to funerals of folks that died.
Yes.
Because that southern white boy knew one thing. If they get the right to vote,
yes,
it is over for us.
That's right. Yes, sir.
But he didn't know what the master plan was.
Right.
To take it away.
That's right.
Okay, now let's never let this happen again. We see what happened, right?
Yes, sir.
And so that's why he was so devastating on the right to vote.
Right.
He knew. That's why I've been lynched and go through all of them changes.
Yes.
Right to vote. If you go back and look to when the 14th, 15th Amendment came through and we got the right to vote, there was a little thing in there and said, and Congress have to fund it.
That's right.
They never funded that till 10 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Right. Let me do this. Can I go to this clip talking about Jimmy Lee Jackson? Then we're going to come back and get into that. Is that all right? Okay. We're listening to The State of the City. We're joined by the living legend, Bubba D. Gregg. It's only about 3 minutes long, and we'll come right back.
Town of Marion, where 50% of the eligible voters were black, but only 1% were registered to vote.
And they had state troopers in every other office they could get, deputized people with guns to prevent us from marching around the courthouse and up and down the street.
On February 3rd, the Marion police arrested 700 black children for marching.
And has some technical difficulties with that. We'll come back and give that to you in its entirety. Let's see if we can get this clip up.
And jailed a leader for contributing to the delinquency of minors. Inside the Mount Zion Methodist Church, on the evening of February 18th, an organization and prayer meeting was held. Outside, local state police had gathered, reinforced by hundreds they had armed and deputized.
All you could see was a sea of blue, a situation where they had planned to teach us a lesson.
It had come from the direction of Mac's Cafe, where those fleeing the beating had taken refuge. Jimmy Lee Jackson, a black, had tried to prevent his mother and grandfather from being beaten and had been thrown to the ground by a state trooper.
And picked Jimmy up off the floor and assured him an opponent and actually shot him in the side. Just took a pistol and stuck it inside and shot him. And as he ran up that hill,